This module is on the Summary of Performance. The Summary of Performance is required under the reauthorization of IDEA 2004. The language is stated in IDEA 2004 that says that a child who's eligible under special education terminates due to graduation with a regular diploma or due to exceeding the age of eligibility, the LEA shall provide the child with a summary of the child's academic achievement and functional performance, which shall include recommendations on how to assist the child in meeting the post-secondary goals. The summary of performance with documentation is important to assist the student in their transition from high school to higher ed, training, or employment. This information is necessary under Section 504 and the ADA to help establish a student's eligibility for reasonable accommodations and supports in post-secondary settings. It is also useful for Voc Rehab comprehensive assessment process. This information about students' level of functioning is intended to help post-secondary institutions consider accommodations for success. These recommendations should not imply that any individual who qualified for special education in high school will automatically qualify for services in post-secondary ed or employment setting. Post-secondary settings continue to make eligibility decisions on a case-by-case basis. The summary of performance is most useful when linked with the IEP process and the student has the opportunity to actively participate in the development of this document. Any student who will graduate this year with a regular diploma or a student who will age out of high school needs a summary of performance. The summary of performance is a summary of the academic achievement, functional performance as it relates to post-secondary goals, and recommendations of how to assist the child in meeting those post-secondary goals. The summary of performance must be completed during the final year of a student's high school education. The timing of completion of the summary of performance may depend on the student's post-secondary goals. If a student is transitioning to higher education, the SOP with additional documentation may be necessary as the student applies. Likewise, this information may be necessary as a student applies for services from state agencies such as Voc Rehab. In some instances, it's appropriate just to wait until the spring of the final year to provide the agency or employer the most updated information on the performance of the student. This is the first of two slides listing general guidance for developing the exit summary of performance. Although you are making recommendations on how to assist the student in meeting his or her post-secondary goals, IDEA does not require providing services to the young adult to meet those goals. IDEA 2004 added language stating that a comprehensive evaluation shall not be required before the termination of a child's eligibility under this part due to graduation from secondary school. However, sometimes students may need documentation of their disability to access services in post-high school settings. IDEA includes that for a child whose eligibility under special ed terminates due to graduation with a regular diploma or due to exceeding the age of eligibility, the LEA shall provide a summary of the child's academic achievement, functional performance, and include recommendations of how to assist. Exit summaries will differ based on student skills and needs. Exit summaries should be as comprehensive as possible in order to provide the student with a functional document that they can use when they're accessing post-school services. The exit summary should be coordinated among the school staff that best knows the student. This is the last of the two slides listing general guidelines that should be considered when developing an exit summary of performance. Remember that it is most useful when it is linked to the IEP process and allows the student the opportunity to participate in the development of this document. There are resources on your live binder to increase student input. It's highly recommended that students provide information related to the summary of performance. The student's contribution can help secondary professionals complete the summary, the student to better understand the impact his or her disability on academic and functional performance in post-secondary settings, and it also may help post-secondary personnel to completely understand the student's strengths and impact of the disability of this student. You can have the student-directed summary of performance resources available on your live binder.